Welcome back to the Morning Blend. Well, we know that slips and falls are dangers facing elderly relatives every season, but there are some very specific concerns in the summer months when taking care of the seniors in your life.
That's right. Ruth Busalacchi, owner of Synergy Home Care, is here to talk about this. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Great to see you again.
You know, we talk a lot about, the heat that's coming on eventually.
Right.
And even when it's not super hot, we still have to worry about heat. But what are some things in terms of heat that you advise people with elderly?
When it comes to the heat, we especially want to watch for the temperature in the home. Sometimes our seniors aren't getting out a lot and they don't realize that their home is actually heating up. Or they're concerned about cost of energy, and so they're reluctant to turn on their air conditioning. And if they're not really aware of that their body core temperature can actually be unable to cool down after multiple days, and that can be a serious concern.
I'm glad you brought up utilities specifically, because I think that the important thing to keep in mind is that a lot of seniors live on fixed incomes, and so they're always probably trying to be very budget conscious.
Correct.
And so one way you can save on utilities is skimping on heat in the winter or on air conditioning in the summer. But if you have air conditioning, there really is kind of like a recommended guideline in terms of what the temperature is set at in a house, right?
Correct. You know, you want to keep your home at an average of 70 degrees. Our bodies, if they're not getting enough cooling opportunities, or if our seniors aren't getting out and maybe getting into the mall, maybe going to the mall and cooling down, or taking a nice cool shower, they're in serious concern.
Well, and a lot of people can't get around. So that's one thing you do is if seniors aren't able to get out, especially like you said, several days in a row, that's something that you'll do with Synergy.
We pay special attention to our seniors and advise our caregivers to go face to face and get those seniors out of the house, get them to the malls like we said, or make sure they're taking a nice cooling shower, or calling the family if they're concerned that they're reluctant to turn on their air conditioning after all.
Yeah.
Because they say there's people who are somewhat socially isolated are at a bigger risk because they don't have people checking on them.
Correct.
There's another health concern that we talked about in the show, kind of teased, because I think it's really important for people to understand there's, along with dehydration, there's another problem that can sometimes have a sort of odd symptoms, and people don't necessarily recognize it in seniors.
That's correct. With our senior population, for whatever reason, urinary tract infections are a very, very serious concern. They don't have the usual symptoms that you and I recognize that we have a urinary tract infection. The symptoms are loss of balance, dizziness, and one of the most unusual symptoms is a very strange and odd behavior, change in character. We've had caregivers bring that to our attention, call us and say, you know, Mrs. Jones is not herself today. And sometimes we actually recommend going to the doctor, and lo and behold, they had a urinary tract infection.
Yes, somebody was actually trying to get out a window by a door, right?
Yes, yes. One of my clients, we are caring for her every day, and my caregiver takes her to her doctor appointments, getting ready for an appointment, and the caregiver called us because she said, you know, Mrs. Jones is trying to leave the house out of the window. So we did say to the caregiver, please mention that to the doctor and have them run a culture. They ran a culture, and lo and behold, she had a urinary tract infection with no typical symptoms. So we were able to get on top of that and feel very, very good about the outcome. Avoiding a fall, potentially avoiding serious injury or hospitality.
Well, yeah, because had she tried to get out, or had you not had a caregiver there and she had gotten out the window, she absolutely could have broken a hip, hurt herself, injured her wrist, whatnot. I think, you know, just those symptoms in general and seeing those, you would never in a million years think, okay, UTI, urinary tract infection. You would think, is there dementia? Is there other issues? So just having somebody who's so familiar with these issues with seniors, I'm sure it takes a lot of pressure off people, but just things like dehydration and heat stroke are real common and things to watch for in the heat as well, right?
Absolutely. You know, some of our seniors have short-term memory loss, and so they may not really be aware of how much fluid they're consuming in a day, Or maybe they're self-conscious and don't want to worry about getting up in the middle of the night or having maybe an accident, so they're restricting their fluids. And so really it is important for us to look out for them and to help give the family some peace of mind that someone's looking out in their best interest.
And the care you provide, I think, is what allows seniors to stay in their home. And so relatives are it's important that they participate in that care, but that's what you do, is helping people stay in their home, which is very often their goal. So we're going to give the information now for Synergy Home Care. You can call this number. It's 1-844-7-WE-CARE, or visit their website. It's synergyhomecare.com. Great to have you on the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Still ahead, a car shopping experience like nothing else. Why one dealer wants to send you to Sweden